Howdy. Today I'm going to go over everything pertaining to O-rings inside the Backdraft Phoenix system. We're going to go over lubrication, maintenance, as well as switching your O-rings from your old aluminum nozzle to potentially your new nylon nozzle, or just from one nozzle to the next in any situation. So, first thing we're going to talk about is lubrication. In the event that you want to lubricate your nozzle, what you're going to have to do is just unthread the cap and take it out, as easy as that. The disassembly is quite simple. What I'm going to then do is use a paintbrush of some kind, and I'm just going to run, and basically I'm trying to lubricate here for this O-ring, which has a seal against the cap, here for these two O-rings, which has a seal against the inside. We're going to want to double check for any little flakes like this that is left over from manufacturing, that would be taken out at the time of cleaning. And if we are wanting to really well lubricate it, we can leave like a little bit extra in between these two O-rings. That way it gets kind of just tossed back and forth from one O-ring to the next, and then your engine will last a really long time without being relubricated. You don't want to overdo it, and you don't want much lubrication on the back. Getting it on the back can cause problems, and if you put like too much in the front, then you might have it leaking or something like that. So that is how you relubricate it. Now this engine is fully relubricated, and now we're actually going to do the opposite, and I'm going to go over how to transfer the O-rings over to a new nozzle. So first thing is I'm going to actually wipe off that lubrication that I just put on there, because I don't need it. And then there is an order of events. You do not want to slide the spring over this O-ring, because you can cause it to leak. So you always want to take off this O-ring before you take off the spring, and you always want to put on the spring before you put on the O-ring. So basically what I'm going to do first is just disassemble this whole thing. A trick for getting these out of the grooves is don't pick at it or anything. What you're going to do is you're going to pinch it, and then you're going to slide your fingers. You see how I can make that little opening by pinching and then sliding together, like I'm actually just going to pinch. So then now I can kind of just fold it over and pull these guys off. I can get a good grip on it once I slide the O-ring out of the groove. Now I can get a good grip on it. See? Well, sometimes you mess up. These are also slippery because they were just lubricated. But anyway, now that we have all of that, we're just going to put them back on. The two on the back just pop in like that. You want to remember to put on the spring before you put on the little O-ring. And now we put on the buffer O-ring, as long as we're not using the small size volume reducer. With the small size volume reducer, that buffer O-ring doesn't actually fit, so in that situation we're just going to leave it off, and this will just go inside there without the buffer O-ring. But if you're not using the small size volume reducer, and chances are you aren't, because that's for very short barrels, that's all you have to do is just move them over, and the only order you have to pay attention to is not sliding the spring over that little O-ring. Then you go through the lubrication process, same as you did for the maintenance portion of it, and slide them back in. There you go. The main thing you want to check after you lubricate is that if you pull this all the way forwards and let go, it'll move back. Because if it doesn't move back, then you're going to have some problems with the cycling. So that is pretty much everything pertaining to your nozzles and their O-rings. Thank you.